All right, it is time for another mock draft. We have been doing it from every spot in a 12-team half-point PPR or half PPR, I guess. So today we are going from the number 10 spot. All right, I will bring the draft board up there, and here we go. Underway with Christian McCaffrey going first. Oh, we got emojis that we can taunt with now. After Christian McCaffrey, it's a runner receivers. Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown going 3. CeeDee Lamb at 4. Justin Jefferson 5. A.J. Brown at 6. Bijan Robinson 7. Jahmyr Gibbs 8. Jamar Chase at 9. So now at 10. Again, we are in this spot where it's automatic that there is no one else we are going with here. It is Breece Hall. Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley are available for wide receivers. It's Wilson, Harrison, and Nacua. But no, it's Breece Hall. We're going with Breece Hall. That is the pick. So we get Breece Hall. It swings around Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Marvin Harrison Jr. I was a little bit hoping that we would get a Saquon Barkley to swing back around to us. Instead, it is Puka Nacua is listed as best available. Other wide receivers are Drake London, Devontae Adams, and Chris Olave. At running back, we have Travis Etienne, Kyron Williams, and Derrick Henry. There's also Devon Achane and Josh Jacobs who are available. Looking down at who might be available when we are drafting again, there are a couple of running back options that we don't mind. So if we don't double up on running back here, I don't think it's the worst thing. I am kind of on record that I'm not buying into the Rams this year, so Puka Nacua probably isn't going to be the pick for me. I'm not big on Drake London either. I just have worries about that offense. So you know what? We're doing it again. We're going Devontae Adams with our pick in the back part, or in the front part here of the second round. Kyron Williams went after that. Drake London, Puka Nacua. Travis Kelce, the first tight end off of the board, also goes. Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, along with Lamar Jackson. Sam Laporta also going in kind of the 1Z spots. Patrick Mahomes goes as well. And now Team 9 is thinking. And whenever this happens, I get worried that the program has actually frozen a little bit. But so we haven't, looking at who's available, kind of hoping, admittedly, Josh Jacobs would still be around at that point. That one stings a little bit. But I do think, depending on what happens here, we're going to get a good receiver again in this spot. It's either going to be Deebo Samuel or Mike Evans. And then after that, as it swings back around to us, I still feel like we'll have an opportunity to get a James Cook or a Joe Mixon. And so, yeah, this is a little bit frustrating that the program has frozen at various points. I've had some technical issues on the recording side, and now just the website itself is stuck. And so that's a little annoying, and I don't want to hit refresh and just completely ruin everything. But I mean, so far we've had some interesting drafts, and I think that Team 9 one really kind of opened my eyes to actually being patient and actually waiting on quarterback and tight end right up until you can't anymore, and then making that move. That was, I think, really quite helpful for us to see that there is another strategy there, because before we were I don't want to say reaching, but we were just making sure that there was a floor we didn't want to go below. And if we just went one tier lower, we actually filled out the roster quite a bit better than I thought we were going to. And so that has kind of opened my eyes a little bit, that we're not just going to end up with Kyler Murray in every draft that we do for the rest of the season or anything like that. But all right, we are down. Team 9 taking their absolute sweet time. As it comes back to us, ticking back around. 3, 2, and 1. Time's up. See, it did. I figured that would happen. It's weird that happened. But anyway, it's not, oh, we're on auto draft now. Yeah, turn off auto pick. Whoops. Okay, well, that's very frustrating. But this is why we do these. This is a situation, maybe you're going to be at a pub or whatever, and Wi-Fi isn't going to be perfect, so you have to adjust on the fly. And so the system kind of malfunctioning on us meant that we got Mike Evans. That's who we wanted. We 100% with our fourth round pick wanted James Cook. That didn't happen, and then our running back run went. So Cook, White, Walker, Mixon, Kamara, Jones, and Montgomery all went after we wanted to take a running back. And so we are now in a spot. Our receivers are good. Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, DJ Moore. So we're probably pretty set there. At running back now, the ones available are James Conner. We have DeAndre Swift, Ramondre Stevenson, and Najee Harris. There are a couple of other running backs in kind of this neighborhood that we don't mind ending up with. But I do think that we're not going to take a receiver, that's for sure. So T. Higgins is probably out. George Kittle, right around this time, is kind of where we have been getting that. And so maybe this is, again, we don't wait on tight end that long. Let's go George Kittle and let the running backs kind of work themselves out a little bit more. Higgins goes, Richardson, James Conner does come off of the board, and Keenan Allen. So it comes back around to us. Ramondre Stevenson is someone who I like the talent of quite a bit. Najee Harris is someone I don't like the talent of, but he is on a significantly better team, and a team that I think will take probably a pretty good step forward. The one thing I am very worried about is if it all comes back around to, because we just went through it, there are at least some running backs that I wouldn't mind who should still be there ADP-wise. But there is a very real chance that there isn't a quarterback that I'm comfortable with by the time it comes back around to us with that long wait. So I am going to abandon the strategy I was just talking about and go Kyler Murray here and have it... And see what we can get for running back after. So Ramondre Stevenson goes, Najee Harris goes. We kind of expected that. Raheem Mostert, that's another one that I was kind of actually hoping would actually stick around. Pollard isn't one that hurts us too much. Looks like we're going to survive it. So running backs that are available, Nick Chubb. We're not going to draft Nick Chubb. Worried about PUP, especially as a guy who's going to be our running back too. Zach Moss is kind of I think Javonte Williams is going to have a good year with the Denver Broncos. He is the one that I was kind of holding out hope that would still be there. And so this thrown off strategy, I think actually ends up working for us a little bit. Jordan Love does come off of the board, so maybe we could have waited on Kyler, because Jordan Love is that like absolute baseline of I do not want to drop below this point. And so now we are right around that neighborhood where we want to be getting a couple of the young, exciting wide receivers. Even with us having 3 wide receivers on our roster already, I do feel like I like the wide receivers in this area so much more than I like the running backs. And so all due respect to Brooks or Jaylen Warren or Austin Eckler, but my pick here is Christian Watson. I think he is ready for a breakout season with the Green Bay Packers. We've been saying around here, we would love, best case scenario is we get 2 of Watson, Smith and Jigba, and Jameson Williams. Raheem Mostert was in that area. He has moved up, as we've seen in this draft. He was already gone. But as it's coming back around to us, Smith and Jigba goes the pick before us. So this one, again, is basically an auto click of Jameson Williams. We are going to lock that pick in. After that, it's Robinson, Gus Edwards, Nuke Hopkins goes, Ezekiel Elliott, and now it's back to us. There are a couple quarterbacks on the board. We're not going to go with that. Here in the 10th round, another one that I've been getting a lot of lately has been Jerome Ford. I love the talent of the kid. I think he has basically the running back room to himself in Cleveland. I'm going to go Jerome Ford there, and we're not going to look back on that one. Chase Brown is another one who has been going in that neighborhood that I like quite a bit. He's staying on the board for a while, but there he goes right at the end of the 10th round. Blake Corum going after him as well. And we're getting to the point now where kickers are working their way up in ADP. Charbonnet going off the board 2 picks before us stings the slightest bit. But Chuba Hubbard is still there. And again, I think he is a pretty good running back. He had some big weeks in fantasy down the stretch. And he's going to have that running back room to himself. So again, Chuba Hubbard, I think, is going to be the pick to click. And now we swing around. There are still 4 picks left for us here. But this is where I start to kind of fall off on a few of the names. I'm just not a Jacoby Myers guy. I'm not a Josh Palmer guy. Rico Dowdle is interesting. And so that is one that has kind of kept me from drafting defensive players here. Or defensive units, I should say. So we will go with Rico Dowdle, get the guy who I think is the better back for the Dallas Cowboys and get a real opportunity. We're missing out on a kicker run here. Jalen Wright was the other one who I would have not drafted a defense or a kicker for. But I have noticed that, like, as I've been doing more research and more into the getting ready for the fantasy football season. The defense and kicker strategy, where we've been going a little bit earlier, has kind of fallen off a little bit because there's more guys who I like. And that has continued here with Dontavian Wicks. I know we're kind of doubling up on the Packers wide receiver room, but I think there is a world where we just got the two most talented Green Bay Packer wide receivers. And now again, the system is kind of frying on us. There we go, we got him. But I feel like he really has a chance to be a very special piece for the Packers offense. Now we are at a point, we got to draft a defense, we got to draft a kicker. So we will go with the Kansas City Chiefs defense, and then we will swing back around and pick whatever kicker we want. So technology threw a bit of a monkey wrench into our plans, but that's okay. We got a really, really good team here, I think. I'm quite happy with this one. I still think that Team 8 probably ends up being my favorite in this whole process. But as it comes back around to us, Daniel Carlson is our guy at kicker. And so ends mock draft number 10. So our starting lineup, Kyler Murray is our quarterback. At running back, we have Breece Hall and Javonte Williams. Wide receivers are Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, and DJ Moore. So Moore will be in our flex. We have Christian Watson and Jameson Williams, as always, at wide receiver, along with Dontavian Wicks. And our running back depth is Ford, Hubbard, and Dowdle with the Chiefs defense and Daniel Carlson as the kicker. That's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. So much more fantasy football content wherever you're consuming this. If you're watching, make sure you like it. If you're listening, make sure you review it. Subscribe wherever you're taking this in, and I'll talk to all of you later. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.